Hello children, welcome to the video session of Standard 6 History, Unit 3 from Term 3, and the lesson name is The Age of Empires, Guptas and Vardhanas. Come, let's enter into the video session.
The Age of Empires, Guptas and Vardhanas. Learning objectives: to know the establishment of Gupta dynasty and the empire building efforts of Gupta rulers. To understand the polity, economy and society under Guptas. To get familiar with the contributions of the Guptas to art, architecture, literature, education, science and technology. To explore the signification of the reign of Harshavardhana. Introduction. By the end of the 3rd century AD, the powerful empires established by the Kushanas in the north and Satavahanas in the south had lost their greatness and strength. After the decline of Kushanas and Satavahanas, Chandragupta carved out a kingdom and established his dynastic rule, which lasted for about 200 years. After the downfall of the Guptas and thereafter an interregnum of nearly 50 years, Harsha of Vardhana dynasty ruled North India from 606 to 647 AD. Archaeological sources: gold, silver and copper coins issued by Gupta rulers. Allahabad pillar inscription of Samudragupta. The Mehrali iron pillar inscription. Udayagiri cave inscription, Mathura stone inscription and Sanchi stone inscription of Chandragupta II. Behetari pillar inscription of Skandagupta. The Gadwa stone inscription. Madhuban copper plate inscription, Punjab. Sonpat copper plate. Nalanda inscription on clay seal. Literary sources: Vishnu, Matsya, Vayu and Bhagavata Puranas and Nitya Sastras of Narada. Vishagadatta's Devi Chandraguptam and Mudra Rakshasa and Banas Harshasarita. Dramas of Kalidasa. Accounts of Chinese Buddhist monk Fa who visited India during the reign of Chandragupta II. Harsha's Ratanavalli Nahananda Priyadarshika. Hyanshang's C.U. Key. Foundation of the Gupta dynasty. Sri Gupta is considered to be the founder of the Gupta dynasty. He is believed to have reigned over parts of present-day Bengal and Bihar. He was the first Gupta ruler to be featured on coins. He was succeeded by his son Ghatotkacha. Both are mentioned as Maharajas in inscriptions. Chandragupta I, 319 to 335 AD. Chandragupta I married Kumara Devi of the famous and powerful Lishavi family. Having gained the support of his family, Chandragupta could eliminate various small states in northern India and crown himself the monarch of a larger kingdom. The gold coins attributed to Chandragupta bear the images of Chandragupta, Kumara Devi and the legend Lichashvah. Samudragupta, 335 to 380 AD. Samudragupta, son of Chandragupta I, was the greatest ruler of the dynasty. The Prayog Prashasti, composed by Samudragupta's court poet Harisena, was engraved on Allahabad pillar. This Allahabad pillar inscription is the main source of information for Samudragupta's reign. Prashasti. Prashasti is a Sanskrit word meaning commendation or in praise of. Court poets flattered their kings, listing out their achievements. These accounts were later engraved on pillars so that the people could read them. Consolidation of Gupta dynasty. Samudragupta was a great general, and when he became emperor, he carried on a vigorous campaign all over the country and even in the south. In the southern Pallava kingdom, the king who was defeated by Samudragupta was Vishnugopa. Samudragupta conquered 9 kingdoms in northern India. He reduced 12 rulers of the southern India to the status of feudatories and forced them to pay tribute. He received homage from the rulers of East Bengal, Assam, Nepal, the eastern part of Punjab, and various tribes of Rajasthan. Samudragupta was a devotee of Vishnu. He revived the Vedic practice of performing horse sacrifice. Performed by kings to prove their imperial sovereignty, he issued gold coins, and in one of them he is portrayed playing harp, that is Veenai. Samudragupta was not only a great conqueror but a lover of poetry and music, and for this he earned the title Kaviraja. Sri Meghavarman, the Buddhist king of Ceylon, was a contemporary of Samudragupta. Chandragupta II, 380 to 415 AD. Chandragupta II was a son of Samudragupta. He was also known as Vikramaditya. He conquered western Malwa and Gujarat by defeating the Saka rulers. He maintained friendly relationship with the rulers of southern India. The iron pillar near Kudupinar is believed to have been built by Vikramaditya. Fahin, a Buddhist scholar from China, visited India during his reign. Vikramaditya is said to have assembled the greatest writers and artists, Navaratna, that is 9 jewels, in his court. Kalidasa is said to be one among them. Navaratna in the court of Vikramaditya: Kalidasa, Harisena, Amarasimha, Dhanvantri, Kahapanaka, Sanku, Varahamihira, Variyuchi, Vittalbhatta. Chandragupta II was succeeded by his son Kumaragupta I, who built the famous Nalanda University. Kumaragupta's successor Skandagupta had to face a new threat in the form of the invasion of Huns. He defeated them and drove them away. But after 12 years, they came again and broke the back of the Gupta Empire. The last of the great Guptas were Baladitya, assumed to have been Narasimha Gupta I. He was himself attracted towards Buddhism. He was paying tribute to Miharakula but was distressed by his hostility towards Buddhism. So he stopped paying tribute. Though Baladitya succeeded in imprisoning him, Miharakula turned treacherous and drove away Baladitya from Magadha. After Baladitya, the great Gupta Empire faded away. The last recognized king of the Gupta Empire was Vishnugupta. Gupta polity, the divine theory of kingship, the concept that the king is the representative of God on earth and so he is answerable only to God and not to anyone else, was practiced by the Gupta rulers. The Gupta kings wielded enormous power in political, administrative, military and judicial spheres. The Gupta king was assisted by a council of mantris, that is ministers. The council consisted of princes, high officials and feudatories. A large number of officials were employed by the Gupta rulers to carry on the day-to-day administration of the country. High-ranking officials were called Dandanayakas and Mahadandanayakas. The Gupta Empire was divided into provinces known as Deshas or Bhuktis. They were administered by the governors designated as Uparikas. The province was divided into districts such as Vishyas and they were controlled by the officers known as Vishyapatis. At the village level, there were functionaries such as Gramika and Gramadeshika. The extensive empire shows the important role of military organization. Seals and inscriptions mentioned military designations as Baladigrita and Mahabaladigrita. The system of espionage included spies known as Dutakas. Society and economy, land and peasants. Nitisara, authored by Kamandaka, emphasizes the importance of the royal treasury and mentions various sources of revenue. The military campaigns of kings like Samudragupta were financed through revenue surpluses. Land tax was a main revenue to the government. The condition of peasants were pathetic. They were required to pay various taxes. They were reduced to the position of serfs. Trade and commerce. The contribution of the traders for the development of Gupta's economy was very impressive. There were two types of traders, namely Srishti and Sartavaha. Trade items ranged from daily products to valuable and luxury goods. The important trade goods were pepper, gold, copper, iron, horses, and elephants. Lending money at a high rate of interest was in practice during Gupta period. The Guptas developed roadways connecting different parts of the country. Pataliputra, Ujjain, Benares, Mathura were the famous trade centers. Ports in western and eastern coast of India facilitated trade. Metallurgy. Mining and metallurgy were the most flourishing industries during the Gupta period. The most important evidence of development in metallurgy was the Mehrali iron pillar installed by King Chandragupta in Delhi. This monolithic iron pillar has lasted through the centuries without rusting. Society. The society that adhered to four Varna system was patriarchal. According to laws of Manu, which was in force, women should be under the protection of their father, husband or eldest son. Polygamy was widely prevalent. The kings and feudatory lords often had more than one wife. Inscriptions refer to Kubarnaga and Drupaswamini as the queens of Chandragupta too. Sati was practiced during the Gupta rule. Slavery. Slavery was not institutionalized in India as in the West, but there are references to the existence of various categories of slaves during the Gupta age. Religion. There was revival of Vedic religion and Vedic rites. Samudragupta and Kumaragupta I performed Aswamedha Yagna. We notice the beginning of image worship and the emergence of two sects, namely Vaishnavism and Saivism during the Gupta period. Buddhism also continued to flourish, though it split into two sects, namely Hinayana and Mahayana. Art and architecture. The Satavahana rulers were great builders. They began constructing Buddhist stupas in Amaravati. A bronze statue of the standing Buddha discovered in OCEO, an archaeological site in Vietnam, resembles the Amaravati trail. The later Satavahana kings issued lead or bronze coins depicting ships with two masts. A stone seal discovered in Nakhon Pathom in Thailand has the same design. Kantara, Mathura, Amaravati, Bodh Gaya, Sanchi and Barhat were known for splendid monuments and art. The Mathura school of sculpture produced images and life-size statues of the Buddhist, Brahmanical and Jain deities. Literature. Though the language spoken by the people was Prakrit, the Guptas made Sanskrit the official language and all their epigraphic records are in Sanskrit. The Gupta period also saw the development of Sanskrit grammar based on the grammar of Panini and Patanjali, who wrote Ashtadhyayi and Mahabhashya respectively. A Buddhist scholar from Bengal, Chandragomia, composed a book on grammar titled Chandravyakarnam. Kalidasa's famous dramas were Sakuntala, Malavik Agnimitra and Vikrama Urvashiyam. Other significant works of Kalidasa were Meghadutta, Raghuvamsa, Kumara Sambhava and Ritu Samhara. Mathematics, astronomy and medicine. Invention of zero and the consequent evolution of the decimal system were the legacy of Guptas to the modern world. Aryabhatta Varahimihira and Brahmagupta were foremost astronomers and mathematicians of the time. Aryabhatta, in his book Surya Siddhanta, explained the true causes of solar and lunar eclipses. He was the first Indian astronomer to declare that the earth revolves around its own axis. Dhanvantari was a famous scholar in the field of medicine. He was a specialist in Ayurveda. Charaka was a medical scientist. Susruta was the first Indian to explain the process of surgery. Vardhana dynasty. The founder of the Vardhana or Pushyabhuti dynasty ruled from Taneshwar. Pushyabhuti served as a military general under the Guptas and rose to power after the fall of the Guptas. With the accession of Prabhakara Vardhana and Pushyabhuti family became strong and powerful. Rajavardhana, the eldest son of Prabhakara Vardhana, ascended the throne after his father's death. Rajavardhana's sister, Rajayashri's husband, Raja of Kanauj, was killed by the Kauda ruler Sasanka of Bengal. Sasanka also imprisoned Rajeshri. Rajavardhana, in the process of retrieving his sister, was treacherously killed by Sasanka. This resulted in his younger brother Harshavardhana becoming king of Taneshwar. The notables of the Kanauj kingdom also invited Harsha to take its crown. After becoming the ruler of both Taneshwar and Kanauj, Harsha shifted his capital from Taneshwar to Kanauj. Conquest of Harshavardhana. The most popular king of the Vardhana dynasty was Harshavardhana. Harsha ruled for 41 years. His feudatories included those of Jalandhar, Kashmir, Nepal and Vallabhi. Sasanka of Bengal remained hostile to him. It was Harsha who unified most of northern India, but the extension of his authority in the south was checked by Chalukya king Pulikeshin II. The kingdom of Harsha disintegrated rapidly into small states after his death in 648 AD. He maintained a cordial relationship with the rulers of Iran and China. Religious policy. Harsha was the worshipper of Shiva in the beginning, but he embraced Buddhism under the influence of his sister Rajeshri and the Buddhist monk and traveler Huanshan. He belonged to Mahayana school of thought. Harsha treated Vedic scholars and Buddhist monks alike and distributed charities equally to them. He was the last Buddhist sovereign in India. As a pious Buddhist, Harsha stopped the killing of animals for food. He was noted for his policy of religious toleration and used to worship the images of Buddha, Shiva and sun simultaneously. He summoned two Buddhist assemblies, one at Kanauj and another at Prayag. Art and literature. Harsha, himself a poet and dramatist, gathered around him a best of poets and artists. Harsha's popular works are Ratnavalli, Nagananda and Priyadarshika. His royal court was adorned by Banabhatta, Mayura, Hardatta and Jayasena. Temples and monasteries functioned as centers of learning. Kanauj became a famous city. Harsha constructed a large number of viharas, monasteries and stupas on the bank of the Ganges. The Nalanda University and monastery combined was said to have had 10,000 students and monks in residence when Huanshan visited the university.